Welcome back to What's Haunting the Hearse. So, you've probably heard of Slender Man. Maybe you saw the memes, the games, or even that movie that came out a few years ago. But do you actually know who he is? Where he came from? What makes him so terrifying that he became one of the most iconic horror figures of the internet age? Let's talk about it. Slender Man is this tall, impossibly thin figure dressed in a black suit. No face, just blank skin where his features should be. And depending on who's telling the story, he's got these long tentacle like appendages that stretch out from his back. He doesn't run, he doesn't chase, he just appears, standing in the distance, watching. And once he's noticed you, it's already too late. Now, here's the thing that makes Slender Man different from most horror legends. He's not ancient folklore passed down through generations. He was created on the internet, specifically on June 10th, 2009. A user named Victor Surge posted two black and white images on the Something Awful forums. They looked like old photographs from the 1980s. Groups of kids standing together, normal stuff. Except there was this tall, dark figure lurking in the background, blurred, out of focus, but unmistakably there. Victor Surge added captions to the images, quotes from supposed witnesses talking about missing children. And just like that, Slender Man was born. What's fascinating is how quickly he spread. Other users started creating their own stories, their own images, their own sightings. It became a collaborative project. People were building this mythology together in real time. And that's when things got really interesting. See, Slender Man operates on a specific set of rules. He targets children and young adults mostly. He appears in forests, near playgrounds, or around schools. He causes memory loss, paranoia, nosebleeds. Victims start coughing up blood. They can't sleep. They become obsessed with him. And the more you know about him, the more likely he is to come for you. That's the part that made him so effective as a horror concept. The idea that knowledge itself is dangerous. That by reading about him, watching videos, looking at images, you're inviting him into your life. Now let's talk about his appearance in media, because Slender Man didn't just stay on forums. In 2012, a game called Slender, the 8 Pages, came out. You're walking through a dark forest with just a flashlight. Your only goal is to collect 8 pages before Slender Man gets you. The more pages you collect, the more intense the music becomes. And he's always there, somewhere, watching. That game became a massive hit. Millions of people played it. YouTubers made it even more popular by recording their reactions. The pure terror on their faces as they turned around and saw him standing there, motionless, just staring. Then came Marble Hornets. This was a web series that ran from 2009 to 2014. It used found footage style to tell the story of a student film project that goes horribly wrong. Slender Man, or the operator, as they called him, was hunting the characters. The series had this raw, unsettling quality that made it feel disturbingly real. Other games followed. Slender, The Arrival, Slendy Tubbies, countless indie horror games. He was everywhere. But then something happened that changed everything. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin stabbed their friend 19 times. They claimed they did it to prove themselves to Slender Man. They believed he was real, that he lived in a mansion in the woods, and that if they killed for him, they could become his proxies. Their friend survived, thankfully, but the incident sparked a massive conversation about internet culture, mental health, and the influence of online horror. Suddenly, Slender Man wasn't just a scary story anymore, he was dangerous. Parents were terrified. The media went into overdrive. And the creator, Victor Surge, whose real name is Eric Knudsen, had to grapple with the fact that his creation had inspired real violence. Now, does that mean Slender Man is responsible? That's complicated. The girls involved had documented mental health issues. Experts argued that Slender Man was just a focal point for something that was already there, but did it show the power of these modern myths? How they can feel so real that the line between fiction and reality blurs? So, what is it about Slender Man that makes him so effective? Part of it is his design. That faceless appearance taps into something primal. We're wired to recognize faces, it's how we understand emotion, intent, safety. When you remove that, it creates this deep sense of unease. You can't read him, you can't predict him, and that suit he wears, it makes him seem almost human, almost normal, but just wrong enough to be terrifying. Then there's his behavior. He doesn't attack right away. He stalks, he watches, he waits. This slow, inevitable approach is more psychologically disturbing than any jump scare. And the fact that he's tied to children, that adds another layer of horror. The idea of something targeting the innocent, the vulnerable. It's deeply unsettling on a fundamental level. But here's what really sets Slender Man apart. He's a modern myth, built by the internet, for the internet. He's not tied to one culture or one story. He's whatever the community needs him to be. Some stories have him as a demon, others an alien. Some say he's a tulpa, a thought form brought into existence by collective belief. And that flexibility is what's kept him alive. Even after the tragedy in 2014, even after the mediocre Hollywood movie in 2018, he's still here, still part of internet culture, still showing up in stories, games, and art. Because at the end of the day, Slender Man represents something larger. He's about the unknown, the things we can't explain, the fear that something is watching us from just outside our field of vision. And in a world where we're constantly connected, constantly online, constantly exposed to information, that fear feels more relevant than ever. So, who is Slender Man? He's a cautionary tale, a collaborative nightmare, a symbol of modern horror. He's proof that you don't need centuries of folklore to create a legend. You just need a good story, the right platform, and people willing to believe. And maybe that's the scariest part of all, that we created him. And now, whether we like it or not, he's real in the only way that matters. He exists in our collective consciousness. So the next time you're walking alone at night and you see something tall and thin in the distance, standing just a little too still, you'll think of him. And that's exactly what he wants. Thank you for tuning in to What's Haunting the Hearse. Please like and subscribe. Please watch our next video.